What do you do when someone is caught in a vicious, terrible lie?
What?
And they go right to the good book and they go right to the Lord. Do we forgive them? Well, we're going to talk about it when we get back. I'm CLM II for Style with Power, the channel that helps empower men through style. Happy Monday, and we hope everybody out there had a fantastic weekend. It was beautiful here on the East Coast as the weather is starting to break, and we are now in spring. Isn't that nice? Well, I'm CLM II for Style with Power, and this week's show is all about relationships, situations, and hot topics. Well, I guess everyone out there has heard about the Derrick Jaxn. I like his last name, Jaxn. I guess it's supposed to be Jackson, but it's Jaxn. Many of you out there have heard about the Derrick Jaxn situation. Well, in our first segment, we're going to talk about hot topics and current events. So Derrick Jaxn is a relationship guru, supposedly a relationship guru. But he got caught up in a crazy situation. A young lady who he had an affair with came out and told someone the story about their affair. Let's look at this video.
That's perfect. Okay.
I am currently dealing with Derrick. I don't have social media. I don't follow bloggers on YouTube or anything. He reached out to me last night and said, if anyone contacts me, for me to hang up and block them.
You say, now the wife says that he's been straight and narrow for about 5 to 6 months. And that's when he first he just recently posted his wife on his social media this year for the first time. People didn't even know he was married. And so when I
had no idea he was married either.
You didn't know he was married?
No.
What happened? Like, how did he approach you? Because this wasn't no DM situation. Normally he's fucking his subscribers. So this is different. Yeah. He met you in person.
I was walking into Lenox Mall, I guess that's the name of it. I'm not from this area. Walking into Lenox Mall, and I was texting, and I heard him say, "Excuse me, ma'am." And when I turned around, he introduced himself as D. He didn't say, hey, it's me, Derrick, whatever. He just said, hey, this is D. And he was like, I seen you walking in, and, I think you're gorgeous, and I wanted to know, could I get your number, and, we talk and kind of build a friendship. And he was so polite. He was a gentleman, and I was like, sure. I gave him my phone number, and we began to talk. I asked him about the video with his wife. I said, so what's going on with that video? And he said, I'm just trying to save face right now. He was like, it has nothing to do with me and her being together. We're not together. She only came over there so that we can do this video together.
But he was cheating on her during college as well. Like, he's been cheating for a long time. Like, I've come in contact with other women that went to school with him, and that said that. Like, he's been cheating the entire time.
Now, now he said his sex was boring with his wife.
Yeah, so he said that once they got married, she stopped wanting to have sex with him.
Because he cheated.
So he said he cheated. He cheated during her pregnancy, and she found out. And he said he proposed, thinking that it was going to fix it. And he said she married him. And he said if she didn't want to marry me and make the marriage work, she shouldn't have married me. And she married me knowing that she did not want the marriage. She just married me wanting to be married.
So there you have it. the young lady had an affair with Derrick. And this is a gentleman who has a huge following on social media. And he's giving advice to women about relationships, and come to find out that this man was cheating on his wife. And it's a sad story because his wife is in the middle of all of this. And instead of him just kind of admitting what he did was wrong and kind of taking a step back, he decides that he's going to go right back on social media and try to explain his side of the story. And I love what Charlamagne the God from Power 105.1 in New York City had to say about it. So let's take a look at this video.
Donkey of the day for Wednesday, March 24th goes to self-love ambassador, entrepreneur, social media relationship expert, Arthur. He's wrote books like Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. He wrote another book called Single Mothers Are for Grown Men Only. And he even wrote a book called A Cheating Man's Heart, a fiction novel. I put fiction novel in air quotes because based on all these new developments, it's safe to say Derrick Jaxn's book, A Cheating Man's Heart, was probably based on a true story. Now, Derrick has built a following basically calling men out on their behavior, okay, holding men accountable. I'm not mad at that. He's done it to me. He's done it to Little Duval. He's done it to Gilly the King. He's done it to Isaac Hayes III. This is his thing, okay, holding men accountable. And I'm fine with that. I had him on my podcast, Brilliant Idiots, a few years ago. And on that podcast, we promised to hold each other accountable. Well, Derrick Jaxn, it's your turn to be held accountable. Okay, let's just get right to it. Derrick Jaxn is full of okay.
The what?
I can't curse, and you know that. So you say, oh, what? He's full of that. Okay? He's a liar, a textbook narcissist and manipulator who gets what he wants at the expense of other people's well-being. This is a guy who will get online and say this about men who have cheated.
I have no sympathy for a man who finds it to be difficult to be faithful after being in a promiscuous lifestyle, and neither should you. Nobody told you to be promiscuous before the relationship, and nobody made you be monogamous with just her. You don't want her? Let another man have her. Simple. But the truth is, you've probably been cheating months before you actually put your dick in her. And more times, I would say 9 times out of 10, when the dude gets caught cheating, that wasn't his very, very first time cheating. That wasn't his only time cheating. That was his only time getting caught.
So Derrick Jaxn decides that he's going to use every excuse in the book on why he had an affair on his wife, why he had an infidelity. And he's going to use all type of excuses, but the biggest excuse that he used, and one that kind of bothers me every time I hear it, is that he actually used God in his excuses.
And pride comes before the fall. And whenever you have pride and you're in a space that God has allowed you to be, he's called you to be, but you're not doing it the right way, God will humble you. YouTube is now on here too.
Hi, YouTube. How y'all doing?
God will humble you.
And he goes on to say he's not perfect and he's not a perfect man, but he has given his self to the Lord and Jesus Christ, and the same old. Now, what's going to happen? Well, there's going to be individuals out there say the man came out and he apologized and he's given himself to the Lord and he understands that he has to be a better man, and his wife seems to have accepted his apology. Yeah. And then there's going to be others who's going to say, you know what, this guy's full of it. He's a big bullcrap artist, and we're never, ever going to listen to him again. So, we're going to see. What do you think? Should we just drop this guy and disregard him? Because we know we are a people of forgiveness. Many people have done wrong, and we have accepted them back into the culture, and we have forgiven them. And of course, it's especially God-fearing people who believe in forgiveness. No one is perfect. Everyone sins. So, of course, God-fearing people may automatically just forgive him for what he's done. And that's why many people who have done wrong, they always turn to religion. Because according to the good book, we are not supposed to judge, and we are supposed to be a forgiving people, and we're supposed to give grace.
Self-proclaimed relationship guru Derrick Jaxn reacted to his own cheating confession video in third person. For real.
Whatever it may be.
So, when I looked in the comments of this video, I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So, let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but this is Derrick Jaxn. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in the relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like, I heard her say that she stands with her husband. She's proud to love him. I heard her say that, this is some time ago. They've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. She clearly has a mind of her own if you saw the live chat too, and she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. So this is like cheatception. He's basically admitting to the cheating in the video and then explaining himself by himself, talking about himself as if he's not himself. He's separated himself from the action, and he's bigging himself up. He gave his own self proud. I love the way that guy took accountability. Most guys wouldn't take accountability, but not Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn, if he's nothing else, he's accountable. And honestly, I know you're thinking, I am a clown. I am a clown. But I am dead serious when I say this. This is genius. This is genius. He gets to say whatever everybody else is thinking, defend that, and act like it's not him and his own wife in the video. I mean, what else could he do? The credibility is gone. The jig is up, as they say. But he went right back into that car and said, the jig is what? Up. I'll show you. I'm going to big that guy up. And if you think he's not selling products still, you're wrong.
And I don't know if Derrick Jaxn actually is sorry for what he has done, or if Derrick Jaxn is sorry for getting caught. I mean, that apology didn't seem sincere to me. It sounds like he's a little bit more sorry that he got caught than he is for what he's done to his wife and his child. I don't know, it's crazy. And then the last and biggest victim in all of this is the wife. And I felt bad for the wife because she, came on that video and she didn't look her best. And she has been getting blasted on social media from all types of individuals who says, she just looked like she just wasn't in really, really great shape. And social media is very powerful. What we've been going through with the pandemic is really, really powerful because now we're seeing people in their own habitat, and we realize that these people don't really care how they appear to others. And no matter what we say or what's been said in the good book that we should not judge, we're human beings and we judge. And even I looked at that young lady in that video and I was thinking to myself, she could have presented herself a little bit better. She could have came out in that video and she could have looked a little bit better. She looked a little downtrodden, looked a little bit defeated. So hopefully she'll come out of this, better. But once again, there's a sister who has been abused in social media. And she didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve any of this. Well, that's that story. I have some of the, if you've seen some of the videos, I will put the links to some of those videos in the description so that you can go and take a look and listen for yourself. And if you don't know this story, it's a fantastic story. This guy, like I said, has made a bunch of money writing books, doing his videos, has a huge following, and now all of that may be gone. But who does it depend on? It depends on you, the audience. And I hope the young man has learned something, and I hope we have learned something from this whole fiasco. Well, before we continue, this video is brought to you by the like button and the subscribe button. So don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join our family, join the Style with Power family, and we're shooting for 200 subscribers. So I need to get there and I need your help. Let's make it happen. In our next segment, we're going to talk about relationships and situations. So our last story for this segment is a story about a Georgia legislator who was arrested for knocking on the door of the governor's office as he was signing these voter suppression laws. And she just wanted to know, why was the governor doing this signing of this bill in secret? Let's take a look at the video.
Kristen, you mentioned voting rights. There was kind of a dramatic scene at the Georgia Capitol where a lawmaker was arrested after knocking on the door where the governor was signing a bill. What more do you know about that?
Well, Hoda, that's right. And it happened just hours after President Biden called efforts to limit voting rights sick, as you just heard in that piece there. Here's what happened in Georgia. Republicans there passed one of those controversial bills in a closed-door ceremony late yesterday. Now, while the Republican governor was holding a press conference after the signing, Democrat Park Cannon knocked on his door in the state capitol to demand transparency and was then handcuffed and arrested. You see it right there. She was then taken to jail and charged with obstructing law enforcement and disrupting the session. Georgia State Police say she had been warned. The backdrop to all of this, Hoda, Republicans in some swing states are pushing to tighten voting laws after the 2020 election, which Democrats say will restrict voting rights, especially for communities of color.
Yeah,
Hoda.
I know you'll follow that one up. All right, Kristen, thank you.
So once again, that's another sister is being embarrassed by being arrested. It's just a shame that our sisters have to, continuously be embarrassed in the media. She's a legislator. She works in the building, and she has every right to knock on the door and find out what's going on. Why are you doing this in secret? Those of you who don't know the story, I have a link to the story in the description. So, because Georgia, turned over the Senate because they elected 2 senators from Georgia, which has never been done in the history of Georgia, which gave the Democrats the majority in the Senate, Georgia's governor decides that he was going to put into law a bill that's going to have help with voter suppression. And what they're claiming is that all of these mail-in ballots and write-in ballots were illegal, and they're not going to allow that any longer. But that's not going to stop us. I mean, we're still going to come out in force in Georgia and make sure that the 2 senators that were put in, especially the Black Reverend Raphael Warnock, that senator remains as senator. So that's not going to stop us. But they are trying to suppress the vote of people of color, not only in Georgia, but all around the country. And once again, a strong Black female says, hey, we have to stop this. And she went and knocked on the door. And she got arrested. But who came to her defense? Senator Raphael Warnock. He came to her defense. And that story is in the description. So, we as black men must stand behind our black women. We must continue to support them as they out there fighting the good fight. I mean, no one can ever forget what was done by Stacey Abrams. If you was watching the NAACP Awards this weekend, you see that Stacey Abrams got an award for all the great work that she's doing. She's up for a Pulitzer Prize. She's just doing some great things. And later on, I'm going to, in one of my future videos, I should say, I'm going to show you a video of one of my students interviewing Stacey Abrams. And I was so proud of her that she did a great job interviewing Stacey Abrams. And I'm going to just do a whole video on that. So that'll be coming down the pike. But Stacey Abrams, very impressive woman. And she's out there making things happen. And this legislator in Georgia is another one of those people that's out there making things happen. So we must continue to support. We must continue to call up our friends, our family members in Georgia, and let them know that they must continue to push. They must continue to fight. To be able to turn Georgia from a red state to a blue state was an incredible feat. Has never happened. It's an incredible feat. Now, the momentum has to continue as the midterm elections are coming up. So, I want to give our support to that legislator out there in Georgia, and we want to make sure that you women continue to do the things that you do to make this world a better place. That's our show for this week, and I will see you next week.